Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Carlo Pernat did what he does best: speak plainly. The veteran impresario didn't hold back in assessing Ducati's seismic signing of Marc Márquez and the fallout it has provoked across the paddock. Pernat frames the move as a short-term masterstroke that may carry long-term costs, rider departures, fractured projects, and a reshaped championship landscape. His verdict mixes admiration for the results with worry about what Ducati might pay for dominance. In DAZN's new feature, Marc, otro lado del box, Pecco Bagnaia gave one of the clearest and most candid accounts yet of what it's like to share a garage with Marc Márquez. The two-time champion praised Márquez's work ethic and adaptability, but admitted the proximity to such a unique talent has been emotionally testing. Bagnaia's message was equal parts admiration and warning. Learning from a once-in-a-generation rider is invaluable, yet it can also expose weaknesses and amplify pressure. After a year away from the grid, Repsol, one of the most iconic names in Grand Prix history, is officially coming back to MotoGP. The Spanish energy giant will rejoin the championship as official lubricant supplier for Moto2 and Moto3 starting in 2026, while also becoming title sponsor for one MotoGP Grand Prix each season. The return marks the rebirth of a brand synonymous with performance, innovation, and decades of success alongside legends like Mick Doohan, Valentino Rossi, Dani Pedrosa, and Marc Márquez. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Pernat accepts that hiring Márquez was the right decision in terms of instant success. The rider's results justify the call. But he argues the arrival has also dismantled plans that had been building for years inside Ducati and the wider rider market, accelerating moves and contract changes across teams. The winner is always right. When results validate a risky recruitment, the temptation is to double down, but Pernat warns that the strategic ripple effects can be destabilizing. For Pernat, the most worrying casualty is Pecco Bagnaia. He says Ducati and Bagnaia are on a knife edge. Public patience is thinning and, if issues persist, a dramatic parting is possible. Pernat describes an ultimatum mood: solve problems quickly or face irreversible change. He asked bluntly what price Ducati will pay if Bagnaia's situation isn't fixed, and warned that moves of other top riders were already linked to the Márquez signing. Publicly framing Bagnaia as a potential flight risk ramps up the pressure on both rider and factory to produce answers fast. Pernat cast doubt over the official line on Márquez's recent arm problem, suggesting it might be more severe than described and raising the specter of a long-term physical cost. He referenced the past years when the arm plagued the rider and questioned optimistic timelines about returns. The injury isn't as minor as it has been described. If true, the health question alters every negotiation calculus, from contract renewal to manufacturer strategy. Pernat floated a provocative future. Could Honda, currently lacking an elite star, try to lure Márquez back when his Ducati deal nears its end? He painted Honda as a sleeping giant that might tempt Márquez with an emotional, career-closing project. It's speculative, but Pernat knows such rumors fuel paddock narratives. He suggested the possibility of Honda courting Márquez as Ducati's contract window approaches in 2026. Even whispers of a Márquez comeback to Honda would reshape team strategies and rider markets. Beyond the Ducati saga, Pernat praised Aprilia's project as the force most likely to capitalize in the medium term. He singled out Marco Bezzecchi's consistency and Raul Fernandez's renaissance. A rider, Pernat says, Aprilia, rebuilt into a winner, as evidence that Noali is building a durable challenger to Ducati's recent dominance. If you asked me if Aprilia is destined to be the star, my answer is a resounding yes. Pernat's reading places Aprilia as the strategic counterweight. Steady development now could translate into sustained success later. Pernat's verdict is equal parts compliment and cautionary tale. Ducati's Márquez gamble paid immediate dividends, But it also broke a long-standing project architecture and raised thorny questions about injuries, loyalty, and the championship's future. Whether Ducati can stabilize Bagnaia, manage Márquez's health, and fend off Aprilia's rise will decide if the move becomes a historic masterstroke or an expensive rupture. The question Pernat leaves hanging over the paddock is brutally simple. Was signing Marc Márquez a stroke of genius, or the beginning of Ducati's downfall? Bagnaia repeatedly underlined that Márquez is someone every rider can learn from: dedication, preparation, and an uncanny feel for the machine. The compliments were sincere. Bagnaia recognizes the opportunity he has to absorb marginal gains. I can learn from him, as always. Marc is someone who has made a difference in our sport from the beginning. You can always learn. That humility matters. Champions who study rivals often convert lessons into renewed strength. What most astonishes Bagnaia is Márquez's ability to be fast on virtually anything. Setup flips, casing changes. Márquez adapts instantly, and that adaptability is a competitive accelerant. I know perfectly well that Marc, with everything he has, can go fast. If they completely change the setup, he can do the same time. When a teammate's baseline is so malleable, it forces engineers and riders to rethink what normal performance looks like. Bagnaia pointed to the physical extremes Márquez can manage: greater lean angles, braver entries, margins that seem to defy consequence. Those are not just riding curiosities. They're lap time advantages few can mimic. He can do things that I lack. Only he can do it, because no other Ducati rider can do it either. He can lean more, 4 or 5 degrees more, without anything happening to him. Technical limits for one rider are tolerances for another. That asymmetry explains some of the season's performance gulf. Bagnaia admitted the psychological toll. Knowing your teammate is extracting more can undermine confidence, especially on weekends when results don't match potential. He's pushed to the limit mentally, yet hasn't surrendered his will to fight. I've been aware of my potential all season, and not being able to show it has pushed me to the limit mentally. But the strength I've drawn from I don't know where is why I'm here. A strong psyche can be reclaimed with answers. A fragile one tends to compound small technical issues into larger doubts. Bagnaia landed on a blunt paradox. A teammate who's exceptional can be your best teacher, and your toughest mirror. If a rider is already fragile, being beside Márquez can deepen that fragility. When you have a teammate who does what Marc did, right next to you and on the same bike as you, it's difficult. If you're weak, this can weaken you even more. The line between motivation and demoralization is thin. Team leaders must manage both technical and human dynamics. Bagnaia's DAZN appearance read as both tribute and confession. He admires Márquez's genius, but living in its shadow has exposed uncomfortable truths. The takeaway is dual. Ducati get a rider who can teach champions tricks, and Bagnaia gets a brutal but valuable benchmark. Whether that pressure becomes fuel for a comeback or a catalyst for deeper frustration will depend on technical fixes, mental support, and the rider's own capacity to turn observation into change. Few brands are as intertwined with MotoGP's heritage as Repsol. After ending its legendary 30-year partnership with Honda in 2024, the company's colors seemed destined for nostalgia, until now. With a fresh collaboration directly with Dorna Sports, Repsol is officially back on the world stage, writing a new chapter of competition. From team branding to technical innovation, Repsol's return restores one of MotoGP's most recognizable names to the pit lane, this time with a broader, championship-level focus. Beginning in 2026, Repsol lubricants will power the intermediate and lightweight classes. The company will test and refine its technology in real race conditions, a perfect laboratory for durability and efficiency. MotoGP statement: performance, reliability, and innovation make the difference every millisecond. Repsol will test its products in the most extreme conditions, competition. It's not just sponsorship, it's applied research. Every lap in Moto2 and Moto3 will feed data into Repsol's next generation of street and racing lubricants. Behind the move lies the Repsol Technology Lab, one of Europe's top private R&D facilities, home to over 230 researchers. It's where high-performance chemistry meets competitive ambition. Official note: this agreement will lead to a new range of competition products, bringing our cutting-edge technology to all motorcyclists, from racetrack to everyday roads. Repsol's approach reflects a complete circle. Technology developed for MotoGP will once again refine what goes into consumer engines worldwide. Clara Velasco, Director of Repsol Lubricants. This new collaboration with MotoGP represents a significant step in our global growth strategy. We are very excited to return to racing and demonstrate the quality of our lubricants in such a demanding environment. Both statements emphasize continuity. The same passion that fueled 30 years with Honda now finds a new platform to showcase technical excellence. Fans who already love MotoGP know Repsol for its excellence and success in the sport. It's great news to have the brand back as an official partner and title sponsor of a Grand Prix. Dan Rossamondo, Commercial Director, Dorna Sports Statement. MotoGP's commercial arm views Repsol's comeback as more than nostalgia. It's a statement that heritage brands still see value in the championship's global momentum and technological evolution. Repsol's iconic orange, red, and white may no longer adorn factory Hondas, but from 2026 onward, they'll once again be part of the MotoGP paddock, this time powering the entire ecosystem from Moto3 to MotoGP. Fittingly, the comeback merges two constants of racing, legacy and innovation. A legend returns, not just to be remembered, but to compete again. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!